All right, hey guys, so I am going to go over very quickly our last, shout out to London because I'm using her old paper. This is just our prime factorization and exponent practice that we're going to be doing tomorrow in class. I just want to make sure that I review you on exactly what you're doing. So I'm going to do the first part of number one. Remember, your base is the number that is being multiplied, so it's 4. And the exponent is the power of 3. Expanded form, that means that we are going to multiply 4 3 times. So 4 times 4 times 4. And 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4. You might actually have to do some math to the side, guys. It may be that you need to come over here and do 16 times 4. 6 times 4 is 24. Hold the 2. 4 times 1 is 4. 5, 6. Oh, that's 64. It's okay to do extra math, you guys. If you need more paper, remember, it is in the yellow bin above the textbooks over by your journals. Okay, let's look at prime factorization again. Now remember, we're starting with our smallest number, our smallest prime number, which is 2. So 2,700 divided by 2. That could be 2,700 divided by 2, that's 1,350, I think. Yes, 1,350. It's okay if you need to do this on your board, on your desk, on an extra piece of paper, whatever you need to do in order to figure this out. Okay, so it still ends in a 0, so I can still divide it by 2. So 1,350 divided by 2, that's going to give me 675. Now we're ending in a 5. I can't I can't use a 2 anymore. So maybe it divides by 3. It does divide by 3. If I were to try and figure that out, I would go down here and I would start doing 675 divided by 3. And what I find out is that that gives us 225. I need to write 225. Maybe that divides by 3. And it does. Again, go down here, divide it, see if it works. If you end up with a remainder, that means that it doesn't work and you need to move to a different number. So now we've got we put a 3 here and 75 here. Now I know 75, I can again put a 3, draw my own line, put 25. We've gotten to the end of our 3s, but I do know 5 goes into 25 with a last 5. Now that 5 is not an answer. That 5 is another one of our prime factors of our prime factorization dig. So it needs to be included when we're looking at this. We've got our 2s, we've got our 3s, and we've got our 5s. All of those are the prime factors of 2,700. So if I was going to write it out, I would say 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 5 times 5. Or 2 to the second power multiplied by 3 to the third power multiplied by 5 to the second power. All right. The other side of this is a little bit more to it. Which expression is equivalent to 25 plus 5 multiplied by 9? In this case, we are going to have to look at 25. This is more order of operations practice, guys. Just go back to that thought. Think about 25 plus 5 times 9. Do we have any numbers that we can factor? It's 25. That could be 5 times 5, right? Or 5 to the second power. 9, that's 3 to the second power because it's 3 times 3. So we have 5 to the second power plus 5 multiplied by 3 to the second power. Do we see that anywhere on here. Now this one has a 2. I don't know where that 2 came from, so we're going to go ahead and X it out. If we looked over here at 5 to the 5th power, do we have 5 to the 5th power? No. I think what they did is they looked at this 25 and they thought, oh, 5 times 5, but we know that powers don't work that way, so we're going to X it out. Now, if we're looking at this, this has 5 to the 2nd power multiplied by 3. Ooh, what you needed to do first was you needed to make sure that we took care of our exponents before we added. So let's go ahead and do 5 times 9 is 45, right? How about let's factor 45. So if we factor 45, we end up, can't divide it by 2, we can divide it by 3 because we end up with 15, and 3, and 5. So that's where that 3 squared came from. So now we have 5 squared plus 5 5 squared plus 3 squared times 5. In which case we see that B, no, 5 to the 5th power. All right, you guys, we're gonna have to skip number 3 and come back to it. I will make a different video on that one at a different time, but if you're watching this, you can go ahead and say, I will come back. So write, come back to it. Ms. Russ needs to talk to another teacher and make sure that we have a plan as to what the answer should be here. All right. If we're looking at number 4, Axel wrote an expression equivalent to 42 plus 8 divided by 10. You're just going to follow your order of operations. You're going to make sure that if you have 42 plus 8, that's in parentheses, so that ends up being 50. And then turn that into you might need to actually figure out 50 divided by 10. You've got different factors that make those up. So if we look at 50, we've got 52, that gives us 25. And then we have 5 and 5. That's 2 times 5 squared. And then 10 gives us 2 and 5. So if we were to look at these, we have 2 times 5 squared, or to the 2nd power, divided by 2 times 5. If we look at these, we've got 2 times 5 squared divided by 2 times 5, which is B. All right. You are going to have to figure out how to do the prime factorization of 68, so go ahead and make sure you do your prime factorization division, and you'll be able to figure out what it's missing there. And then again, you're just going to find the prime factorization of 112. All right, you guys, I hope you have a great day, and this is it. This is all that I'm giving you today. Do your best. You don't have to do number 3. I will try to cover that on Monday. All right, make sure to turn this into the tray. Bye, guys.